Welcome back to Type School, everyone. I am your guide, your professor, Daparu, the Crusha. But you can call me Dap. We are now at the fourth and final letter of this series called the Self. Each video lecture is represented by one letter, an acronym SELF, S-E-L-F, starting with the spirit, and then the emotions, and then the lobes, and now it's F for the flesh. So let's start by really looking at the human body and examining it for what it's built of. And that would be approximately 37.2 trillion cells, each with its own unique functions and roles. These cells work together to form tissues, organs, and organ systems that carry out the body's functions and messages. Here are some facts about how the body's cellular level affects our minds and emotions, as well as how physical addiction can occur. The brain is made up of billions of cells called neurons. These are responsible for transmitting information throughout the body. The communication between neurons is facilitated by the release of chemicals called neurotransmitters, which can affect our mood and emotions. The body's endocrine system, which is made up of glands that produce and secrete hormones, also play a role in the regulation of our emotions and behaviors. Hormones like adrenaline or cortisol are associated with the fight or flight responses, while oxytocin is associated with feelings of bonding and attachment. Physical addiction, when the body becomes dependent on a substance or behavior to function properly. When we engage in activities that produce pleasurable sensations, like consuming drugs or engaging in sexual activity, the brain releases dopamine. It's a neurotransmitter that creates feelings of pleasure and reward. Over time, the brain can become wired to associate these behaviors with pleasure, leading to addiction. We covered that in the last episode, a little bit more on detail. Similarly, when we form strong emotional connections with other individuals, the body can become physically addicted to release of oxytocin that occurs during social bonding. This can create feelings of attachment and dependency, leading to physical addiction to another person. The body's cellular level is also linked to our mental and emotional well-being. For example, chronic stress can lead to changes in cellular function, including alteration in DNA methylation and gene expression, which can affect our mood and behavior. Additionally, research suggests that certain lifestyle factors like diet and exercise can influence cellular function and promote mental and emotional well-being. Overall, the body's cellular level plays a crucial role in our mental and emotional health, and understanding the mechanisms behind addiction and emotional attachment can help us better understand and address issues related to addiction and mental health. There are several ways in which the body on a cellular level can influence the mind and emotions of a human. There are so many examples. Number one, hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers that are produced by various glands in the body and are carried in the bloodstream to various organs and tissues. These hormones can have a powerful effect on our emotions and behavior. For example, the hormone cortisol, which is released by the adrenal glands in response to stress, can increase feelings of anxiety and irritability. Neurotransmitters. And we covered this on the last to a very high degree, but remember, neurotransmitters are chemicals that are released by neurons in the brain and nervous system and are responsible for transmitting signals between neurons. These neurotransmitters can also have a powerful effect on our emotions and behavior. For example, The neurotransmitter serotonin is known to regulate mood, appetite, and sleep, and low levels of serotonin have been linked to depression and anxiety. Immune system. Did you know that the immune system plays a critical role in protecting the body against pathogens and other harmful substances? I'm sure you did. However, the immune system can also have an impact on our emotions and behavior. For example, inflammation, which is a natural response to the immune system to injury or infection, has been linked to depression and other mood disorders. Gut microbiome. The gut microbiome refers to the trillions of bacteria and other microorganisms that live in the digestive tract. These microorganisms can have a profound impact on our physical and mental health, including our mood and behavior. For example, studies have shown that changes in the gut microbiome can affect levels of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, which are important for regulating mood. Overall, the body on a cellular level can have a significant influence on our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And it's important to take care of our physical health in order to support our mental and emotional well-being. You're probably asking yourself, why do I need to understand the body, the flesh, at the cellular level? Well, here's some reasons. Understanding the body at a cellular level is crucial for several reasons. Health and disease. Cells are the building blocks of all living organisms, including the human body. By understanding cellular biology, we can gain insight into the mechanisms underlying health and disease. Cellular level knowledge helps in identifying the causes, progressions, and treatment of various illnesses, including genetic disorders, cancer, infectious diseases, and metabolic conditions. Treatment and development. Understanding things at the cellular level provides a foundation for developing and targeting effective treatments. By studying cellular processes, researchers can identify molecular targets and design interventions that specifically act on those targets. This knowledge forms the basis of the development on drugs, therapies, and medical interventions that address the root cause of the disease at the cellular level. Personalized medicine. Understanding cellular biology enables personalized medicine approaches. Each individual's cells have unique characteristics and responses to treatment. By understanding cellular mechanisms, genetic variations, and cellular signaling pathways, healthcare professionals can tailor treatment to an individual's specific cellular profile. Imagine that. This approach allows for more precise and effective healthcare interventions. Regenerative medicine. Understanding the body at a cellular level is vital for regenerative medicine, which aims to repair, replace, or regenerate damaged or diseased tissues and organs. By understanding how cells function and interact, scientists can develop strategies to manipulate cell behavior, stimulate tissue regeneration, and engineer functional tissue and organs for transplantation. Preventative medicines. Understanding biology at the cellular level helps in identifying risk factors and implementing preventative measures. Many diseases originate at the cellular level before manifesting as symptomatic or having a clinical condition. By understanding cellular processes associated with disease development, interventions can be targeted towards early detection, risk reduction, and disease prevention. Advancing biological knowledge. Cellular biology serves as the foundation for understanding broader biological processes. Studying cells provides insight into fundamental biological concepts such as cell division, metabolism, signaling pathways, and developing biology, and gene regulation. This knowledge advances our understanding of basic biological principles and contributes to fields such as developmental biology, molecular biology, and genetics. In summary, understanding the body at the cellular level is essential for advancements in healthcare, disease prevention, treatment development, and regenerative medicine. Cellular level observations and knowledge knowledge provides insight into the mechanisms underlying health and disease, enabling the development of personalized, targeted interventions. It also advances our understanding of fundamental biological processes, laying the groundwork for future scientific discoveries and medical breakthroughs. What are neurons and neurotransmitters, and how do neurotransmitters affect mood and emotion? Well, we covered this in the last video, but neurons are specialized cells that form the building blocks of the nervous system. They are responsible for transmitting electrical and chemical signals throughout the body, allowing for communication and coordination between different parts of the body and brain. Neurons consist of a cell body, dendrites, receiving extensions that receive signals, and an axon, a long, slender extension that carries signals away from the cell body. At the end of the axon, there are terminal branches that release chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are chemical substances that transmit signals from one neuron to another across a tiny gap called a synapse. When an electrical signal reaches the end of the neuron's axon, it triggers the release of neurotransmitters in the synapse. These neurotransmitters then bind to receptors in the neighboring neurons, transmitting the signal from one neuron to the next. Neurotransmitters play a crucial role in regulating various functions in the body, including mood and emotions. Different neurotransmitters have distinct effects on mood and emotions. Here are a few examples. Serotonin. Serotonin is often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter. It contributes to feelings of well-being, happiness, and regulates mood. Imbalances in serotonin levels have been associated with conditions such as depression and anxiety. Dopamine. Dopamine is involved in reward, motivation, and pleasure. It plays a role in the brain's reward system and contributes to feelings of pleasure and motivation. Imbalances in dopamine levels have been implicated in conditions such as addiction and mood disorders. Norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is involved in the body's stress response and helps regulate mood. It's associated with feelings of alertness, focus, and energy. Imbalances in norepinephrine levels have been associated with conditions such as depression and anxiety disorders. Gamma aminobutyric acid, or GABA, is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that helps regulate the excitability of neurons. It has a calming effect and is involved in reducing anxiety and promoting relaxation. These neurotransmitters, along with others, work in a complex and interconnected manner to modulate mood and emotions, and imbalances or dysfunctions in neurotransmitter systems can contribute to mood disorders such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and other mental health conditions. Medications used to treat mood disorders often target neurotransmitter systems to help restore balance and alleviate symptoms. Of course, keep in mind the relationship between neurotransmitters, mood, and emotions is complex and not fully understood. Neurotransmitters are just one piece of this giant puzzle we call our self. And other factors such as genetics, environmental influences, and psychological factors also play a significant role in shaping mood and emotion. The effects of chronic stress on cellular function. So if you get stressed out, that doesn't mean that your cell phone's not going to work. I just don't want you to worry about that. That's not where we're going right now. But I do want to add that chronic stress can have detrimental effects on cellular function throughout the body. When the body experiences prolonged or repeated stress, it triggers a cascade of psychological responses that can impact cellular processes. Here are some of the effects chronic stress can have on cellular function. Inflammation. Chronic stress can lead to states of chronic low-grade inflammation in the body. This sustained inflammatory response can disrupt normal cellular functions. Inflammatory molecules can alter the functioning of cells, impair cellular communication, and contribute to the development or progression of various diseases. Oxidative stress. Chronic stress can also lead to increased oxidative stress. Oxidative stress occurs when there is an imbalance between the production of reactive oxygen species and the body's ability to neutralize them with antioxidants. Excessive ROS can damage cellular structures such as proteins, lipids, and DNA, leading to impaired cellular function and increased risk of various diseases. Telomere shortening. Now, telomeres are protective caps at the ends of the chromosomes that can maintain genomic stability. Chronic stress has been associated with accelerated telomere shortening, which is linked to cellular aging and an increased risk of age-related diseases. Telomere shortening can impair cellular replication and function, potentially affecting overall health and lifespan. Impaired immune function. Chronic stress can suppress immune system function, making individuals more susceptible to infections, delayed wound healing, and chronic inflammatory conditions. Stress hormones such as cortisol can interfere with the functioning of the immune cells, leading to a compromised immune response, altered neurotransmitter function. Chronic stress can disrupt the balance of neurotransmitters in the brain, impacting cellular communication and neural function. Dysregulation of neurotransmitters can contribute to mood disorders, cognitive impairments, and changes in behavior. Disrupted hormonal regulation. Chronic stress can disrupt the normal regulation of hormones in the body, such as cortisol, adrenaline, and insulin. Hormonal imbalances can affect cellular metabolism, energy utilization, and various physiological processes. These effects of chronic stress on cellular function can have wide-ranging consequences for overall health. Prolonged cellular dysfunction and impaired physiological processes increases the risk of developing various health conditions, including cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, autoimmune disorders, mental health disorders, and neurodegenerative diseases. Managing and mitigating chronic stress through stress reduction techniques, lifestyle modifications, social support, and seeking appropriate professional help when needed is important for maintaining cellular health and overall well-being. Glands and hormones and the effect of hormones on behavior and emotions. Glands are a specialized organ or tissue in the body that produces and secretes hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers that are released by glands into the bloodstream. They travel through the bloodstream to target cells and organs, where they exert their effect by binding to specific receptors on those cells. There are several types of glands in the body, including endocrine glands, which release hormones directly into the bloodstream, and exocrine glands, which secrete substances through ducts to external body surfaces or cavities, i.e. Sweat glands, salivary glands, among other glands. Hormones play a crucial role in regulating various psychological responses, including metabolism, growth and development, production, reproduction, and the response to stress. They also have significant effects on behavior and emotions. Here are how hormones influence behavior and emotions. Mood and emotions. Hormones can influence mood and emotions by acting on brain regions involved in emotional processing. For example, serotonin, a neurotransmitter that also acts as a hormone, is involved in regulating mood. Imbalances in serotonin levels have been associated with mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. Similarly, hormones like cortisol, released when there's a response to stress, can impact mood and emotional response. Stress response. Hormones, particularly cortisol and adrenaline, play a crucial role in the body's response to stress. They activate the fight or flight response, which prepares the body to respond to a perceived threat. This response can influence behavior, such as increased alertness, heightened arousal, and adaptive responses to the stressor. Reproductive behavior. Hormones such as estrogen and testosterone have significant effects on reproductive behavior. They influence sexual desire, arousal, and behaviors related to mate attraction and reproduction. Changes in hormone levels during the menstrual cycle can also impact mood and behavior. Social behavior. Hormones can influence social behaviors, including bonding, aggression, and parental care. For example, oxytocin, which often is referred to as the bonding hormone, plays a role in social bonding, trust, and maternal-infant bonding. Testosterone can influence aggressive behavior and dominance. Sleep-wake cycle. Hormones, including melatonin and cortisol, regulate sleep-wake cycles and circadian rhythm. Melatonin, released by the pineal gland in response to darkness, helps regulate sleep, while cortisol levels vary throughout the day, with higher levels in the morning and lower levels in the evening. The thing about hormones is they interact with other factors, including genetics, environmental influences, and individual differences to shape behavior and emotion. Hormonal imbalances or dysfunctions can contribute to various behavioral and emotional disorders. Understanding the effects of hormones on behavior and emotions is crucial for diagnosing and treating conditions related to hormonal imbalances and optimizing overall well-being. The links between hormones and mental health disorders. Yes, there are links between hormones and mental health disorders. Hormonal imbalances or dysfunctions can contribute to development or exacerbation of various mental health disorders. Here are a few examples. Depression. Hormonal imbalances, particularly involving serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine, have been implicated in development of depression. Reduced levels of these neurotransmitters or impaired receptor functioning can contribute to depressive symptoms. Additionally, hormonal changes that occur during specific life changes, such as postpartum depression after a childbirth or premenstrual dysphoric disorder during the menstrual cycle, can also influence mood and contribute to depressive symptoms. Anxiety disorder. Hormonal imbalances can contribute to the development or exacerbation of anxiety disorders. For example, imbalances in cortisol, the primary stress hormone, can lead to increased anxiety symptoms. Similarly, fluctuations in hormones such as estrogen and progesterone during the menstrual cycle can influence anxiety symptoms in individuals with premenstrual syndrome or PMS. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is characterized by extreme mood swings, including periods of mania and depression. Hormonal dysregulation, including alterations in the neurotransmitters like dopamine, norepinephrine, or serotonin, can contribute to the onset or progression of bipolar disorder. Hormonal changes during the menstrual cycle can also impact functions in individuals with bipolar disorder. Eating disorders. Hormonal imbalances can play a role in the development and maintenance of eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa. Hormones involved in appetite regulation, including ghrelin, leptin, and insulin, can be dysregulated in individuals with eating disorders, influencing hunger, satiety, and body weight regulation. Hormonal changes during puberty or hormonal disruptions due to excessive exercise or disordered eating patterns can contribute in the development of eating disorders as well. Postpartum mood disorder. Hormonal changes during and after childbirth can impact mental health. Postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis are mental health disorders that can occur in women after giving birth. And hormonal fluctuations include changes in estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid hormones. They're all thought to play a role in this onset. Remember, mental health disorders are complex and multifactorial, and hormonal imbalances are just one issue. Genetic factors, environmental influences, psychological factors, and other neurobiological mechanisms also contribute to the development and course of mental health disorders. Understanding the interplay between hormones and mental health is crucial for accurate diagnoses, treatment planning, and the development of targeted interventions. Physical addiction and dependence. Physical addiction and dependence are terms used to describe the physiological changes that occur in the body when a person regularly uses a substance or engages in certain behaviors. These terms are commonly associated with substance use disorders, but they can also apply to other addictive behaviors. Physical addiction refers to the state in which the body has adapted to the presence of a substance or behavior and requires it to function normally. It involves specific changes in the brain and the body's biochemistry. When a person becomes physically addicted to a substance or behavior, they may experience withdrawal symptoms when they stop or reduce their use. Dependence. This has nothing to do with your taxes. Dependence, on the other hand, it's a broader term that encompasses both physical and psychological aspects. It refers to the reliance on a substance or a behavior to cope with daily life or emotional states. Dependence includes both physical addiction and psychological cravings or compulsions. Physical addiction and dependence can develop with various substances, including drugs like opioids, alcohol, nicotine, and benzodiazepines. When a person uses these substances regularly, the body adapts and adjusts its chemical processes to compensate for the presence of that substance. This leads to tolerance, where higher doses are required to achieve the same effect. When substance use is abruptly stopped or reduced, the body's adapted state is disrupted, resulting in withdrawal symptoms. These symptoms can range from mild discomfort to severe physical and psychological distress, depending on the substance and the extent of dependence. Withdrawal symptoms typically include physical symptoms such as nausea, sweating, tremors, muscle aches, and changes in heart rate and blood pressure. Psychological symptoms may include anxiety, irritability, depression, cravings, and difficulty concentrating. The severity and duration of withdrawal symptoms can vary widely depending on the substance, individual factors, and the duration of the use and intensity of that drug. Remember, physical addiction and dependence are not the sole determinants of addiction. Addiction involves a complex interplay of physical, psychological, and social factors. While physical addiction and dependence contribute to the difficulty of quitting or reducing substance use, the psychological and social aspects of addiction, such as cravings, compulsive behaviors, and negative consequences, are also crucial in understanding and addressing the addiction. How does dopamine play a role in addiction? Well, dopamine plays a significant role in addiction by influencing the brain's reward system. The reward system is a complex network of brain regions involved in motivation, reinforcement, and the experience of pleasure. When we engage in a rewarding activity or consume a substance that activates the reward system, dopamine is released in certain brain regions. In the context of addiction, substances and behaviors that are addictive can hijack the brain's reward system and cause an abnormal surge of dopamine. This leads to an intense and reinforced pleasurable experience, which can drive the individual to seek out the substance or behavior repeatedly, even in the face of negative consequences. Here's how dopamine contributes to addiction. Reinforcement. Dopamine plays a crucial role in reinforcing behaviors that are associated with pleasurable experiences. When a person uses an addictive substance, right, or engages in an addictive personality behavior, dopamine is released in the brain's reward circuitry. This release of dopamine creates a sense of pleasure and reinforces the connection between the substance or behavior and the rewarding experience. This reinforcement strengthens the association between the behavior and the desire to repeat it. Craving and motivation. Dopamine also plays a role in the motivation to seek out the addictive substance or behavior. The release of dopamine creates a powerful sense of craving, which drives individuals to engage in the behavior again and again to experience that pleasurable effect over and over again. Dopamine influences the brain's motivation and decision-making processes, making the pursuit of the addictive substance or behavior a top priority. Sensitization, prolonged exposure to addictive substances or behaviors, can lead to changes in the brain's dopamine system. Over time, the brain can become sensitized to dopamine, meaning it becomes more responsive to the substance or behavior. This can result in a blunted response to natural rewards and an increased motivation to seek out the addictive substance or behavior to achieve the same level of pleasure. Withdrawal and cravings. When an addictive substance is removed or reduced, dopamine levels in the brain drop, leading to the state of withdrawal. This withdrawal state is characterized by cravings, negative mood, and other physical and psychological symptoms. The strong association between dopamine and the rewarding effects of the addictive substance can drive intense cravings, making it challenging to quit or reduce substance use. Just to boil it down, dopamine is just one piece of this larger picture in addiction. Addiction is a complex condition that involves multiple neurotransmitters, brain regions, and psychological factors. However, the role of dopamine is the reward system, and its influence on reinforcement, motivation, and craving make it a central player in the development and maintenance of addictive behaviors. The link between emotional attachment and oxytocin. Emotional attachment is a deep and enduring emotional bond that forms between individuals, typically in a close relationship such as a romantic partnership, parent-child relationship, or close friendship. Oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone, is believed to play a significant role in the formation and maintenance of emotional attachment. Here's an example of a link between emotional attachment and oxytocin. Oxytocin release. Oxytocin is a hormone produced by the hypothalamus and released by the pituitary gland. It is released in response to various social stimuli, including positive social interactions, physical touch, and emotional intimacy. Activities such as hugging, kissing, cuddling, or engaging in intimate conversations can trigger the release of oxytocin. Trust and social bonding. Oxytocin is thought to promote feelings of trust, social bonding, affection, and affiliation. It enhances social recognition and facilitates bonding between individuals. When oxytocin is released during positive social interactions, it can enhance feelings of closeness, attachment, and trust towards each other. Emotional regulation. Oxytocin is also involved in the regulation of emotions. It can help reduce anxiety and stress responses, promoting a sense of calm and serenity. Oxytocin has been found to have soothing effects on the nervous system and can counteract the effects of stress hormones, such as cortisol. These effects may contribute to the sense of emotional closeness and security experienced in an emotionally attached relationship. Relationship maintenance. Oxytocin may play a role in the maintenance of long-term relationships. Research suggests that oxytocin promotes relationship satisfaction, facilitates relationship bonding, and encourages pro-social behaviors within relationships. It is believed to contribute to feelings of empathy, compassion, and cooperation, which are crucial for maintaining healthy and supportive relationships. Parent-child attachment. Oxytocin is particularly important in the parent-child attachment bond. During childbirth and breastfeeding, oxytocin is released, facilitating maternal-infant bonding and promoting caregiving behaviors. Oxytocin is involved in promoting maternal nurturing and protective behaviors, as well as facilitating infant attachment and social bonding. Make sure you remember that oxytocin is just one of several factors involved in emotional attachment. Emotional attachment is a complex process influenced by various psychological, social, and environmental factors, while oxytocin is associated with the formation and maintenance of emotional attachment. It does not solely determine the depth or quality of emotional bonds. Other factors such as shared experiences, emotional intimacy, trust, and maternal support also contribute to the development and strength of emotional attachments between individuals. Psychological addiction to another person. It may sound strange, but while there is no official diagnosis or recognized medical condition termed like this, psychological addiction to another person. It is possible for individuals to develop intense emotional and psychological dependence on others. This type of attachment is often possible for individuals to develop intense emotional and physiological and psychological dependence on others. This type of attachment is often referred to as codependency or dependency personality. It is characterized by an excessive reliance on other persons for emotional support, self-esteem, and a sense of identity. Codependency can manifest in various ways, including seeking constant validation, experiencing extreme fear or anxiety when separated from the person, and sacrificing one's own needs and well-being for the sake of the relationship. Individuals with codependency may struggle with setting boundaries, making decisions independently, and maintaining a healthy sense of self outside of that relationship. While codependency is primarily rooted in psychological and emotional factors, it can have psychological components. The intense emotional attachment and reliance on another person can activate the brain's reward system, leading to the release of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and oxytocin. These neurotransmitters can contribute to feelings of pleasure, attachment, and bonding, reinforcing the dependency on the other person. Very important to note that codependency can be detrimental to one's well-being and relationships. It can lead to an imbalance of power, lack of autonomy, and difficulties in maintaining healthy boundaries. Addressing codependency often involves therapy, support groups, and developing self-care practices to foster independence, self-esteem, and healthier relationship dynamics. However, it is crucial to differentiate between a healthy emotional attachment and an unhealthy codependent relationship. Healthy emotional attachments are characterized by mutual respect, interdependence, and the ability for individuals to maintain their own sense of identity and well-being while also experiencing emotional closeness with others. Does the immune system have an impact on mood? Yes, the immune system has an impact on our mood. The immune system, which is responsible for defending the body against pathogens and maintaining overall health, interacts with the central nervous system and influences various aspects of the brain function, including mood and emotions. There are a few ways in which the immune system can affect mood: cytokines and inflammation. When the immune system is activated in response to infection or inflammation, immune cells release chemical messengers called cytokines. Cytokines such as interleukin 6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha can communicate with the brain and influence neurotransmitter systems involved in mood regulation. Elevated levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines have been associated with the development or exacerbation of mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. Sickness behavior. During an infection or illness, the immune system releases signals that can trigger a set of behavioral changes known as sickness behavior. Sickness behavior includes symptoms such as fatigue, lethargy, decreased motivation, social withdrawal, and changes in appetite and sleep patterns. These behavioral changes are thought to be adaptive responses that help conserve energy and promote recovery. However, when prolonged and excessive, they can contribute to mood disturbances. Stress and immune function. Chronic stress can impact immune function and alter the balance of pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory responses. Stress hormones such as cortisol can modulate immune cells' activity and cytokine production. Dysregulation of stress responses and chronic stress exposure have been associated with increased vulnerability to mood disorders and altered immune responses. Gut-brain axis. The gut microbiota, which consists of trillions of microorganisms residing in the gastrointestinal system, play a role in the immune system function and can influence mood and behavior. The gut microbiota can communicate with the brain through various pathways, including the immune system. Alterations in the gut microbiota composition, known as dysbiosis, have been associated with changes in mood and behavior. Remember that relationships between the immune system and mood is bidirectional. While immune system activation can impact mood disturbances and physiological factors can also influence immune function. For example, psychological stress and negative emotions can modulate immune responses. Understanding the interaction between the immune system and mood is important in the context of mental health. It highlights the interconnectedness and various bodily systems and emphasizes the need to consider both physical and psychological factors in maintaining emotional well-being. Gut microbiome and its relationship to mental health. The gut microbiome refers to the diverse community of microorganisms, including bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other microbes that reside in the gastrointestinal tract. Emerging research has revealed the bidirectional relationship between the gut microbiome and mental health. Here's an overview of the relationship between the gut microbiome and mental well-being. Communication between gut and brain. The gut and the brain communicate through the gut-brain axis, a bidirectional communication system involving neural, hormonal, and immunological pathways. The gut microbiome plays a crucial role in this communication as it can produce and interact with neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, and other bioactive molecules that can influence brain function and behavior. Neurotransmitter production. The gut microbiome is involved in the production and metabolism of various neurotransmitters, including serotonin, dopamine, and gamma aminobutyric, or GABA. These neurotransmitters are essential for regulating mood, emotions, and cognitive functions. Alterations in the gut microbiome composite can influence neurotransmitter levels and potentially impact mental health. Immune system regulation. The gut microbiome helps regulate immune function in the gut and the entire body. Imbalances or disruptions in the gut microbiome, such as dysbiosis or increased intestinal permeability, called leaky gut, can lead to chronic low-grade inflammation and immune dysregulation. In turn, this inflammation can contribute to mood disorders and cognitive impairments. Stress response and HPA axis. The gut microbiome can influence the body's stress responses through hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Stress can alter the composition of the gut microbiome, while changes in the gut microbiome can influence the stress response and resilience. Disruption in this interaction may contribute to the development or exacerbation of stress-related mental health disorders. Psychological factors and behaviors. The gut microbiome has been associated with certain physiological factors, including anxiety, depression, and stress resilience. Physiological factors and behaviors. The gut microbiome has been associated with certain psychological factors, including anxiety, depression, and stress resilience. Research suggests that the gut microbiome can modulate brain regions involved in emotional regulation and behavior. Specific microbial strains or metabolites may influence these factors, although the exact mechanisms are still being investigated. Therapeutic potential. Manipulating the gut microbiome through interventions such as probiotics, prebiotics, and dietary changes holds promise as a potential therapeutic approach for mental health disorders. Some studies have shown that certain probiotics can improve mood and reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. However, further research is needed to understand the specific effects and mechanisms of action of microbial interventions. So while the gut microbiome appears to play a role in mental health, it is not the sole determinant. Mental health disorders are complex and involve multi-factors, including genetics, environmental influences, and psychosocial factors. However, understanding the gut gut-brain connection and the influences of the gut microbiome on mental health opens up new avenues of research and potential therapeutic interventions. Is there a cellular impact of diet and exercise on mental and emotional well-being? Yes, there is. Diet and exercise can have a cellular impact on mental and emotional well-being. Both factors can influence the structure and function of cells, including those in the brain, and contribute to overall mental health. Here's how diet and exercise can impact cellular well-being and mental emotional well-being. Neuroplasticity. Diet and exercise can support neuroplasticity, which refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout life. Regular exercise has been shown to increase the production of neurotropic factors, such as brain-derived neurotropic factors, which promotes the growth and survival of neurons. A healthy diet, rich in essential nutrients, provides the building blocks necessary for optimal brain function and supports neuroplasticity. Cellular energy and mitochondrial function. Diet and exercise can impact cellular energy production and mitochondrial function. Regular exercise enhances mitochondrial activity and efficiency, which improves energy metabolism in cells, including brain cells. A nutrient-rich diet provides the necessary substrates and antioxidants to support mitochondrial health, ensuring optimal energy production and reducing oxidative stress in cells. Inflammation and oxidative stress. Diet and exercise can modulate inflammation and oxidative stress, which play a role in mental health disorders. A diet rich in anti-inflammatory nutrients such as omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants can help reduce systemic inflammation and oxidative stress. Regular exercise has also been shown to have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. By reducing inflammation and oxidative stress, diet and exercise promote cellular health and promote against cellular damage that can contribute to mental health disorders. Neurotransmitter regulation. Diet and exercise can influence the production and balance of neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, which play a crucial role in mood regulation and emotional well-being. Certain nutrients obtained from a healthy diet, such as tryptophan and tyrosin, are precursors to neurotransmitters. It's like that's food for your neurotransmitters. Exercise is shown to increase neurotransmitter production and release, contributing to improved mood and reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. Gut microbiome. Diet and exercise can also impact the gut microbiome, which plays a role in mental health throughout the gut-brain axis. A healthy diet, particularly one that is high in fiber and diverse in plant-based foods, supports a healthy gut microbiome. Exercise has been associated with more diverse gut microbiome as well. A balanced gut microbiome promotes proper digestion, nutrient absorption, and the production of neurotransmitters and other bioactive components that influence mental health. In closing, diet and exercise are not standalone treatments for mental health disorders, but should be considered as part of a comprehensive approach that includes appropriate medical care, therapy, and other interventions. However, adopting a healthy diet and engaging in regular physical activity can support cellular health, neuroplasticity, neurotransmitter regulation, and overall mental and emotional well-being. So that's all the time we have for now. I just wanted to thank you for going through this entire series with me. This was a college level course that I have been working on for many, many years, and I'm so thankful that it's finally come to fruition. So there you have it. It's the entirety of the self, down to the microbiome in your gut, down to the cellular level of your brain, to the neurotransmitters that flow through your neurons. And we are so complex, and nobody has the answer to being perfectly happy and perfectly balanced. But these are some ideas that you can choose to adopt in your own life and make your life that much more fulfilling. Well, that's it. That's the entirety of the series, The Self. Thank you again, and make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell for all the new things coming up in the future. Make sure you go to Type School, click in the link below, sign up, take classes. My classes are free of charge, and I would like to see you there and help you go find yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the chaos. I know I did. And now go find yourself. Bye.